freshmen, I mean, Deshaun comes in, gives you guys a little burst in the second half. Tanji gave you guys a little bit of a burst in the first half. I mean, what are they doing that's kind of unique on this year's team?
I think they're confident when they come in. Obviously, Deshaun, that was big run for us. And John early, he hit 2 threes, I believe, right in the beginning. And they just give us a burst of energy that we need to keep going.
Adam, just what's the emotion of hitting that? You get the board and chuck it out to Chris to kind of secure it.
Felt great. But, yeah, it's a great feeling, when you hit that. And just got to worry about the next play, and obviously I got that rebound at the end, and felt great.
How big is this? I mean, you guys, I would assume, probably don't feel you played your best game, but to find a way to pull out the win, how big is that to do that?
It's a win's a win, especially at this level, especially against a good team. They said they made the tournament 5 out of the last 8 years, so it's a good team. They're confident. They're well coached, so it was a big win for us.
And you want me to go? All right. I was gonna tag off. I forgot what I said. Sorry.
What was different down the stretch tonight versus San Diego State, Boise State, where you guys kind of went cold from the field in basically the last 5 minutes of those games?
You go ahead. Since you
I think tonight we just. I think with the experience of those last 2 games and how bad those hurt, I think we took that a little personal. And obviously, watching the film on those games, it hurts a lot when you watch those games and you're right there the whole time. I just think a little extra experience got us through this one tonight.
You're only in your second year. I brought up the freshman, but I mean, you still have quite a bit to grow too. Where do you feel like you're at development-wise so far?
I think I need a new pair of hips, to be honest, to play some better defense. But my biggest thing is I think I got to get to the rim more. Get some more free throws, and then, like I said, keep moving my feet on defense.
How hard is it, Nico? I mean, how hard is it being in either that first year or second year? I mean, that's a big learning curve.
Yeah, you learn every single year. You get better. You get more mature on the court. You get more confidence. So I think especially AT and Kendall, they played big minutes last year, so I think that's helping trans over this year. Kendall, D-Rod, John, and Deshaun, freshmen. I was there. It's always tough, trying to get your feet. You don't play the minutes that maybe you want. You got to go in there and you got to perform. So I think, they're doing a great job.
When you are getting those minutes, how big is it when a guy like Deshaun gets 10 minutes, but in those 10 minutes he gets 8 quick points? I mean, being efficient, how important is that when you're not getting those minutes?
Yeah, it's just extra points on the board that you need. Why, we're getting some rest and, they're out there, doing what they need to do.
And for those young guys, their confidence just goes straight up, and that's what we need.
Any doubt in your mind that that's going in?
There's no doubt, but I was crashing that glass very hard just to make sure.
Yeah.
Have you felt fresher just with Deshaun being able to come in and pick up 10 to 15 minutes a night, maybe not having to go 35 plus every single night?
I'm gonna give you the broad answer, and I want to play every minute, but I feel good right now. I'm gonna get this ice bath, get some rehab. I'm old too. I feel old, but I feel pretty good. These minutes are helping me out because the season's long. We still got all January, February, so these are definitely minutes that are gonna carry over until the end of the season.
Do you feel like playing San Diego State, playing Boise State early, kind of prepared you now for this Friday night matchup against the top 25 CU team?
Yeah, it's a CU versus CSU game. We hate each other. All the fans get into it. So, I think playing against a physical team like San Diego State and like Boise State were big time for us, especially those are conference games, so everybody got a taste of it a little bit.
With so many freshmen, what do you say to those guys to kind of get them ready for an atmosphere like that, to kind of pass on that hate?
Yeah, I think playing at Duke helped a lot, that atmosphere for sure. Hopefully, we can get some people out there to be the same. But, yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things you can't really tell anybody until you actually go out there and you play against CU at home or even at their place. It's a different type of vibe. It's a different type of energy. So I think you just got to tell them just to stay focused, prepared. Bad things are going to happen. They're going to go on a run. It's going to get loud. It's going to get quiet. So you just got to keep on fighting.
I think back to that game in Boulder a couple years ago, kind of one of your coming out games.
Yeah.
Where does that rank amongst your CSU basketball?
Hit that jab step 3.
That's probably my number one. Everybody's like, do you shoot? I was showing the video of me hitting that 3, but that was a fun game. Gene was out. I remember it was yesterday. Gene was out. We were 14-point dogs. Ended up going there and beating them by by 15. They had like 4 or 5 redshirt seniors, NBA first-round player Derek Wyatt. So, that game really helped me get my confidence, for the games that are coming up that we played against last year, 2 years ago, and the one coming up.
Is that like a mentality you feel like you guys can kind of replicate this time around? Just, that like underdog mentality?
Yeah, they're a ranked team. I have a feeling that a lot of people are probably going to say that, oh, we're young. They're going to say all that stuff. We're young. They're ranked. They're seniors. We don't care about none of that. We got to go out there and we got to play our basketball and go out there and try to get a win.
Obviously, it feels good to win. Our guys stuck with it. We found a way to win a really tough game. I fully expected this to be a really close, hard-fought game today. You got to give that team a lot of credit. I mean, quite frankly, like I told our guys in the locker room, I thought that they played with a lot more of an edge than we did for the majority of the game. But to our guys' credit, they didn't fold. They stuck with it. We made some plays down the stretch, and we absolutely had to have them. And sometimes, boy, you find a way to win when you don't have your best. That's a good thing. But my message to the team all the time is, what you wouldn't accept in losing, you can't accept in winning, right? It's more about how you play. Just like sometimes, you do lose a game, but you did some good things, that you can build on. You play hard and it doesn't go your way. Tonight, we didn't play as well as we could. We found a way to win, but we know we've got to play better than we did here today. But that's basketball, man. You play 30 games, you play a season, you're not always going to have your best. But it was great to see our guys stick with it and beat a good ball club tonight.
Talking about that edge, seeing a guy like Deshaun come in, David come in, and provide those little sparks. I mean, what can you say about how that kind of helps that?
I think that's great. I think our bench is growing, right? I mean, John and Deshaun are clearly starting to get more comfortable. David Hiron. I think that's awesome for us, right now, and it's awesome as we continue to build and hopefully become a better team, as we get into the meat of our conference schedule. But so I thought they really did some things scoring. Quite frankly, I thought, though, everybody to start the game did not have the mindset defensively. I mean, even when we went to the bench early, we gave up some offensive rebounds. We just didn't quite have the urgency that we needed. But, we regrouped there for a period and give that team credit. Every time we kind of, made a little bit of a run, we gave it right back to them. They made some plays. But at the end of the day, Rams win.
Last minute there with the 3, and then he gets to a pretty tough board to kind of secure it. Is that just a little bit of the moxie and all-around game that he has?
Yeah, I mean, you got to play for 40 minutes. Now, we've been in a lot of close games, already this year. And, so that situation we were in there at the end was not something we hadn't been in, before. What we like to do there is, obviously, had they scored a basket there, we have a quick action we want to go to. I don't like to call timeout in those situations because I think that just allows the other team to get their defense set to do something. And if we miss, same thing. We really want to attack and try to attack an open floor, see if we can get something quick. We were in the double bonus at that time. And it just happened to be we running our transition, and Kendall kind of drives it into the notch and hits a little what we call a crack action, flips to Adam. Decided to pull the trigger on it and felt good about it, and nothing but net. And then, he came up with a key rebound there after that.
Seeing a guy like Adam step up like that, how encouraging is that when you do have, 4 freshmen that are kind of taking a big role, to see how much he's developed already? I mean, how encouraging is that?
I think it's great. I mean, we've got a lot more developing to do, but, I mean, Adam put so much into it, and worked so hard in the off season. And, I'm excited about this group. I am. We've got a lot of work to do to continue to get better and understand what we have to do to really win at the next level, and that's the next step for us is how do we get better. But we've challenged ourselves. We've had some hiccups, but we've also played some good basketball, and I like the direction that we're heading. Again, this was a good win here today.
Where do you see their comfort level at so far, your freshmen? I mean, does it feel like they're seeing the game well, or is there still some room to go there?
Oh, there's a ton of room to grow. For all these guys, you always have room to grow, no matter what. But it's slowing down a little bit, as you start to do more and more, and they start to see more things and more concepts on both ends of the floor. It starts to slow down for them. They start to get a little bit more confidence, that way as you play more. Like I've always said, there's only one way to get experience. That's to get experience. And as they've started to play games now, 12 games into their careers, it starts to slow down for you. But I'm hoping that they keep growing, and I know that they will. And I'm not going to play great every night, but I think you're starting to see a little bit more consistency.
I think I asked you
I think still our 2-point field goal defense at times, easy baskets. If you look overall at the numbers, our defensive rebounding has been good. But I think too many times late in games or critical situations, we're giving up too many easy baskets. I think that's got to get better. It's finishing possessions, right? It's having but we make people play late in the shot clock. You do whatever. We got to get a little bit better, I think, at that. I think we just got to get in a little bit better flow offensively. I think still, even though the numbers show, what did we finish today? 15 turnovers, which is way too many against a team that doesn't even pressure at all. Too many sloppy turnovers in critical situations, where we want to play fast but not in a hurry. And I think we're still finding our groove a little bit. We play through Nico. We've got some ball screen stuff. Who's going to take what shots? I still think we can even get better shots on offense sometimes than we do. But overall, I like their mentality. I think we're moving in the right direction. But, yeah.
Adam's three-point shooting overall obviously been really good. Obviously, part of that seems just a good shooter, but is his shot selection really, really strong? It seems like he doesn't force many.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a team they really play, they really sag. I mean, they really play kind of and him they didn't. But he does. He takes good shots. Quite frankly, I wouldn't mind it if he took a few more. You know what I mean? Sometimes. But I like that guys are team players and they want to take great shots. He's a guy that people have to game plan for, right? I mean, you play him, and that's what makes him dangerous is you might game plan for him and you take him away for a whole half, and all of a sudden, bang, in a critical situation, he can make, 2 or 3 quick ones there in a stretch if you lose him, and that's what makes him so dangerous. But he's such a team guy. He's always trying to play in the team concept. But I think even as his career continues to go on, he'll find more and more ways to become more aggressive.
With that San Diego State and Boise State losses, how much better is it to enter the big CU matchup off a win rather than kind of a 3-game lose streak?
Well, quite a bit. I mean, listen, people ask you to listen. Somebody asked me if we were down losing the first 2 conference games. Not down, you're disappointed. Like you're disappointed, but better not be down, man. You better be more determined. It's like we played 2 really good ball clubs, and we didn't play well enough to win, but we played well in some of the stretches, and we've still got a lot of growth. But yeah, it feels way better to win. But quite frankly, we probably played better against Boise the other night on Saturday than we did tonight in a lot of ways, so you know what I mean? But we're going to have those nights. We'll be ready for Friday. I think I saw CU lost tonight. I mean, college basketball's tough. I mean, you play all these games. These teams are well prepared. They come at you, a lot of confidence. Friday is going to be a war, and we're going to have to play one of our best games of the year. But I'm confident our guys will be ready to compete.
Probably going to be a fairly decent atmosphere Friday night. Should be decent crowd from the students. Do you think that'll be hard for the young guys, and they might get a little bit too excited?
It's a great question. We'll see. Do you know what I mean? Like how that is. It's you play in some big games. You played it, but this is probably the biggest game that they'll have played in at home. You don't know 100% how somebody's going to respond to that, right? Until they get into that environment. But I know they'll play hard. I know that they'll come out and they'll try to do the right things. They care deeply. They really want to win. They really want to be part of the team. And so I think that's going to be great. And your guess is as good as mine. But I feel good about it. I think that they'll respond. We've played a good, a challenging schedule and played some good opponents, and we'll be ready to play on Friday. And our guys have played through this season a lot of things that haven't gone their way. You know what I mean? And they've found a way to stick with it, and I would expect more of the same. Thanks. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.